My mother has dementia, and my dad had it too before he passed away in early January of 2022. Now, 5 years prior, my wife and I had agreed that we needed to care for them. We would usually visit them once or twice a week, maybe bring some meat pies and guava cheese strudels from Porto's Bakery. And over time, each time I opened my parents' refrigerator, I would see what I call my mom's science experiments. Lots of older food, growing mold, not getting thrown out. I'd see pills on the floor, and maybe a curiously new and unmentioned bruise on the forehead or forearm. Hey, what's that? Nothing. And so one day we were visiting and my dad collapses and is having what looks like a stroke or a heart attack. And so I dial 911, and the fire department, which happens to be 2 blocks away from my parents' house, they roll up, and the captain who gets off the truck is like, "Mr. Bermudez, how are you? What are we doing for you today?" And I'm kind of doing the sideways stare like, "Why are you talking to my father this way? You seem very familiar with my dad, and why is that?" And so the firefighter laughs and says, "Dude, we're here like once a week." And so I'd come to learn that because one of them would have a fall, and neither of them could help each other out, they'd call 911. And my dad ended up being okay, and the fire department went on their way. And that day, my wife and I agreed that it was time. And so we're Latinos. So my family's from Costa Rica, my wife is from Mexico. You don't put your parents in a home. And like one of my favorite comedians, Al Madrigal, he says we're second generation assimilation, mission accomplished. And so we built out a guest house where we lived 50 miles away, and we brought them with us. And dementia is usually a stair step. You see big changes from one to the next. It's not just kind of a steady decline. And their dementia was unique. My dad went from being this very cranky, complaining about the food or how cold it was, to losing the ability to have a conversation and mostly smiling and shaking his head. And my mom was able to keep a conversation, and you just have the same one 5 or 6 times a day. Now, when my dad passed away, I knew we were in for a serious ride, because it meant that I would probably have to give my mother the bad news multiple times a day when she would ask where he was. And now I knew I could try and redirect her, but boy, could she be persistent. And we have to choose, at least you learn if you take any type of dementia training or go to a support group, you learn that you cannot take things personally. You have to elevate your level of generosity and your graciousness. And you have to give that person a hall pass, because even if that person is being mean and insulting and calling you liars and idiots, you have to understand that they have dementia and don't remember. And so when I put on my empathetic hat, I know she's full of anxiety, probably even scared and angry that she can't remember that she can't remember. And so if I step back, this is something that I can apply across the board with others. We're all a little scared. We're all a little anxious and a little angry and even disappointed. So the next time someone barks back at you, give them a hall pass. Who knows when you might need it too.